Hello everyone, welcome back to Bombe. We're teaching the computer to play Minesweeper. And I decided I should stop diving, super deep into, like, I don't know. For example, some of this stuff in here, I solved based on whatever I was doing elsewhere. We don't have to go all the way deep into triangles right away. Or into, sorry, these complexity 3 squares. When our existing rules are enough to solve, quite a few things, and may unlock some more tools for us if we do so. Right? For example, we can do quite a lot of the complexity 3 size 2. And, we could duck in and see, oh, how's this going? But it would be nice to unlock whatever this is. And I think we can probably do that by just double-clicking on enough stuff. Oh, this is easy. Ooh. Hey! I got a variable! Okay. I didn't notice that we were closer to this than this. Oh, no. Okay. Cool. So that's good, actually, I think. Because now we can sort of write more... Like, I can take this rule, which we've written many times for all the smaller numbers, and say, look, I have a 5 out of 6 in 5 region. It can only be size 5, right? So I can say x slash x plus 1, but don't add a plus to it. So just x or x plus 1, I think, is what I'm writing here. No. Gosh, what the heck do I want to write? X or x plus 1 here, contained within a region of size x. There must actually be x of them, right? So that's going to make this a 5. So slow down, go very slow this time. Pause it even. Okay, nothing's happened here because it's paused. When I say go ahead, it puts a 5 there and it solves it. Great. Cool. That's good to know. To finally have. These two, I mean, we should be able to get rid of one of them. So can we now... Obviously, the collision of these two means this can only be a 1 region. I could just write that out for 1 and 1/4, but can I generalize to some x? Like, if I had an x slash y region, I can't do this because I can't write x and y yet, but suppose that I could. I could say, with an x slash y region of size y, you know what? Let's leave this alone. I bet when I have more variables, it'll be more interesting. And when I have more practice using them as well. Okay, I mean, it's going fast enough to be sort of enjoyable. There you go. Look at me solve Minecraft. Minesweeper. I'll never get this shit right. Those Windows guys should have picked a less common, easily confused name, huh? Actually, was Minesweeper around before Windows? Like, I know Windows obviously popularized it. Windows 3.1? But maybe, I mean, it was based on some earlier game. I know a lot of, like, pencil puzzles, came from Japan, right? I'm not sure, actually. But this isn't a pencil puzzle because you do need feedback with the computer. When you uncover a square, you get new information. Anyway, so is there anything cool and obvious going on here? I mean, these two completely are redundant. It would be nice to get rid of that. Well... I want to say... if there's like a 0x region that has a clue that's y or more, where y is at least 1, then it's not 0. And like therefore this must be a 3, and therefore these are all 3s. So but I don't think I can do that very well with just one variable. When do I get another? 3,000 more? Maybe I can just squeak that out. I don't know. Probably not. I'm still kind of surprised that like we haven't done some of these when we've done the supposedly more complex ones. Oops. Right? Weird. Anyway, let's look at triangles. Oh, there's already a tough one. That's a surprise. Something about triangular geometry created an interesting puzzle that couldn't have arisen in the other geometries? I guess that's sort of because there's more adjacencies available, right? Like this triangle, I guess because you consider vertices, like crossing vertices is allowed as well as crossing edges, right? This too isn't just next to this one, it's also next to this one and this one. So there's kind of more adjacency available. But that was still true with squares that had like big squares in them, right? It seems like. There's some hidden rules, which, yeah, I don't want to see those. You got me on that. This came from like the intersection of these two, I assume. Oh. Actually, the intersection of those two. Interesting. Sure. Ah, I can write the general case of this rule now, can I not? If I have an overlap between a region with X mines in it and some other region, and there's only space for X minus 1 mines in the X region, then there is at least one mine in the other region. So let's try that. So if I say there's a region of size X, oh, I can't have minuses. Okay, let's make this X then. This is X plus 1. Then, yeah. So if I refresh this, I no longer have this rule for 3s, but I still get the 1 or more here. That's very good. And I can do the same thing for 2s, right? If I say X plus 2 here, wait. That doesn't seem right. So if there's like one space... Because don't I have... Let's look at the rules I have involving... I don't know. Marking regions. Do I want to write x plus 1 here? Is that what's happening? I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Are we solving any of these? Boy, it's not looking good. Not a... No, we got one. Which one was it? It was near the end, right? This one. Can I look at this? We solved this somehow. I can't see how, I guess, because I can't look at what happened. Maybe I could if I left and came back? Yes. Really? Wait. But so how did it end up with these weird regions in it? Whoa, what the hell? Oh, I see. This was a 1 next to a mine, so I opened these, and then they had weird clues on them. So why did this one open? It was a 0, 1, or 2 next to 2, and the game says that's good enough to open it. I see. And then 1, 2, or 3 next to 3, it opens as well. And apparently this 1 or 4... Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. There's a puzzle anyone can solve with no rules at all? No regions? I guess. So anyway, what is the dealio with all this shit? There's at least one here. Is there not? I mean, there's like at most one here, but I suspect we already have that written and just didn't care. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's at least one here in these two, because this 3 is intersecting with a 2, so there's like at most 2 here, right? Well, you know what? We can write some general case versions of this rule. These ones they were a given. And they produced this at most one and at least one rule. I can now say no. Show the creation rule that I would like to edit now. So I want to use x's. Anytime we see an x in any region, we also write x or more into that region. Because I just was seeing this 2, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if there were 2 or fewer there? So likewise, let's take this rule and edit it to take x's. Whenever there's an x, you should write an x or fewer in the same place. Now we have some hiding to do, because we've written many exciting rules that are not actually exciting at all. For example, how did I know to hide this? I can update this rule to use x's. Oh, do I have minus x? No, I don't need minus x. I need x and x minus. Thank you. So now when I look, I just have the same rules that I had before, but I've developed like a 2 or fewer in this area, which seems to have also given me a 1 or more. Was that there before, or did it come from creating some of those other rules that I then hid? I don't remember that being there before. Who made you? Ah, this 3. Okay. Got it. So now this 1 plus going into this 2 plus, does that help somehow? No. But the 1 plus and the 2 minus are more exciting, sort of. That should give me a 1 plus here, I think, right? No, that doesn't make sense. A 1 minus. I have that. Who made you? The intersection of that 2 and that 1. Okay. Anyway, this 2 or fewer here should interact with the 3 or more. Right? Because they have a sizable overlap. No, go away. 2 or fewer, that's invisible. And the 3 or more, that's visible. So, oh boy, having variables really makes you try to generalize. I know I'm like a generalizer, but I don't know, probably not as much as some people working on this, but you know, before I didn't have a lot of choice for how to resolve this. Now I do, and it's very complicated to figure out what is actually, like, I don't even know, I don't mean to say that there's choice, Like, I think there's only one really correct thing to write here, but I don't know what it is. And it might involve more variables than I have, and it might not. So I don't think I care how big this area is. It could go on for miles for all I care. I don't think I care how big the overlap is. And I don't think I care how big that is. It has to have... How do I get rid of... How do I go back to Number Town? Just like that? Okay. At least one here, yes? That's true. Now, I could, I think, make this x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. Is that all true? So x plus 2 plus, and x plus 1 minus? That's incorrect. But it was... Somehow this is correct. That makes sense, yeah. If there can only be 2 mines in the overlap, then this area must have the remainder, right? I guess that's true. It's kind of weird. 0 plus. Okay, you know what? We can just say erase those, please. I don't need that shit. So I have this 1 or more now, which doesn't seem that interesting. I also thought I would be hiding the 3 or more here. How did the 2 or more that, oh no, that's under here get hidden? The one that, oh God. Here's the 2. Goes up like that. This 2 or more. Who hid this? There's a 2 or more. Shouldn't this just be x? So x plus in a region of size x, hide the x plus. Okay, good. That actually helped a lot. This was very, very crowded, and then suddenly it's just all gone. Now, the hidden layer is as much of a mess as ever. We derived this 1 or more, but it doesn't really help, right? I mean, we can ask, like, what if this square were not a mine? That seems highly problematic somehow, right? because, yeah, that would ruin things. Because then none of these would be mines. So this 2 would have to take both of its mines from here. Oh, maybe that's fine? No, sorry. If this weren't a mine, there would be 1 mine up here, which means there'd only be 1 mine in this region. Which means these would have to both be mines, which is impossible because we said this isn't a mine. Huh. I don't like this. It seems way too special casey. There's got to be something more general going on that doesn't involve a 1, a 2, and a 3. That all have this weird set of overlaps. So why is it that after I assumed this, I had a problem down here? That puts a 1 here. So just for example, by the way, I could, just to confirm that I'm on the right track, I could say, well, there has to be a mine where the 1 and the 3 meet, right? Which is here? Indeed, that's correct. But that's not very general. So the hidden layer is quite messy. I think this thing of like putting pluses and minuses under every literal clue is probably going to become more of a problem than a hindrance. Sorry, a hindrance than a help at some point. Like right now, it makes these hidden layers kind of impossible to diagnose. But if I said there were none here, there'd be 1 there. Which would mean, like, exactly 1 here. And exactly 1 here isn't a problem, except that we already assumed no mine there. Oh, is this a 2 or more that exactly mirrors a 3 or more? We can delete that, right? If there is an x plus exactly mirrored by an x plus 1 plus, like this. No, that's x plus 1. It should be x plus. Then I mean, I don't know if I really want to trash it, I guess. This rule is completely redundant. The problem is it might, like, simplify my matching with, right? Like, I don't know. Let's just do that. Because now if there's, like, a 7 plus that has a 6 plus in it, and I have a rule that handles 6 pluses, it's gone. So I kind of want to make, like, trashing a low priority. It seems like that's a thing we'll be allowed to do someday, but I don't yet have it. Right, these are the 3 plus and the 3 minus that came from the 3. What do these scores mean? Oh, my global placement. I see. Number of puzzles cleared compared to Steam friends. And the rest of the world. Any of these names I recognize? I mean, I don't know a lot of, like, puzzle-solving Steam players, so... It's not a surprise that I recognize none of these, who aren't on my friends list. I mean, I can just write the rule that involves all 3 of these. Something bugs me, like, I don't know what is supposed to be the more general solution. I can at least write in some question marks, though. So this, where the 1 is, and it overlaps with only the 3, which is here, I proved has to be a mine, I think? Yeah, because if it's not, it's impossible. I guess this can say 1 or fewer, probably. Yeah. Could that say 1 or fewer? No. And I bet this can't either. No. Okay. Well, that solves another chunk of puzzles, I guess. There's 3 or fewer in this one cell? Okay, great. I mean, that's very obvious. So if there are, give me some X's. I guess this should be X. And if there are X plus 1 or fewer here, well, I'm not sure that's going to help. What is it that I'm trying to say? If there is an X here, which is larger than the size of the clue, then that clue is not really telling us anything, right? Okay, let's just leave that for now. This isn't hurting anybody. Clearly these 3s and 4s are related. Yeah, so... Is this overlap not, like, useful? Don't I have an X rule that does this somehow? Like, if there are... What do I want X to be? No, I guess I only have one for when there's two outside or something like that. One or two. So if I say there are X here... Yeah, I have one for two, I think. X plus 3 here. Don't care about the size of the overlap. Don't think I care about this either. And there's 3 there. Then, like, actually... There are 3 in the overlap? Is that right? Yeah. I think I have that rule already for 2. And maybe for 1? Wow, this does not look like only 3 visible rules. It looks like 1,000. So where did this come from? There's a 4. And the place where it doesn't overlap another region has size 3. Then at least one must be in that region. Fine. I mean, this rule could clearly go. There's a 4 in that area that exactly matches it, right? So I think we're, like, this rule doesn't matter. We have to take these 2 rules and look at them somehow. If... Oh, one of them doesn't extend out at all? I see. So I guess, don't I want... like, X and X... Don't care about that stuff, but everything outside can't be a mine? Yeah. We did it! Okay, faster. Boy, you can see all those regions blooming and blossoming. There's a lot going on here. I understand that eventually you start, like, putting down so many rules that performance is an issue. Oh. 28 hidden rules, 23 trash rules. I saw people in the Discord talking about their bad rules leading to thousands of rules or regions being created. I don't even know where to start with this shit. Probably the 5 and the 4 are important. Maybe. I don't know. It's just, it's illegible. Yeah, see, it's taking a long time to solve this because I'm generating so many new regions to like handle. Look at this. And then it solves, I think. Or actually, maybe it failed to solve and just ran out of new regions to add. Because I have a lot of like, oh, if there's any overlap between two regions, then label their non-overlap. Rules like that, right? Yeah, see, I think it was failing to solve. This is clearly disgusting. Let's try more complicated ones. Present me with small examples of fixes I should make. Oh man, 10 trash rules? I'm like making all kinds of garbage. You know, maybe my earlier idea of like, oh, if there's a region with size 1, or not with 1 mine, then also mark it as having 1 or fewer and 1 or more mines. Maybe that was kind of a ham-fisted way to handle the kind of stuff that you can do later on with variables. That wouldn't involve making so many new regions. What rule? Oh, it's talking about this rule inspector. Who knows what rule that is? Right, like there's just so much shit here that I can't debug it. And I think it's because I'm making so many regions with no clear idea of like what their purpose is. Here, oh, I was looking at the hidden layer accidentally. The visible layer is bad, but not that bad. So here, for example, we have like a 2+ contained exactly within a 2+. We could get rid of the larger one. Although, where did it come from? This garbage. Yeah, I think this rule is awful. I made this to solve one weird special case, and I think it's just creating a ton of rules. I could make it worse. Say this is x plus x plus. Well, I don't think I have 2x, actually. I don't think I have multiplication. But like if this were x and this were x plus 1, then this could be x plus 2. No, that would still involve multiplication. But if this were x plus and this were 1, then this could be x plus 2. That's certainly true. I think that would just make my problems worse. And it would solve some very vanishingly small number of problems, but make it really difficult to visualize stuff. That one came from there. This one came from a different one. Interesting. Well, let's try just at least making invisible the larger one. I don't think we necessarily need to trash it, but maybe it wouldn't hurt. An x plus and an x plus region. We can hide the larger one, right? Or even, make invisible. Or delete, rather, maybe. So that simplifies that a little. So 2 plus covering 3 squares of this 4, huh? I guess that doesn't really help right now. The overlap between this 3 or fewer and this 4 is important, though, right? Or actually the 4 or more that's hidden behind it. God, the day I delete the rule that turns all my certains into pluses and minuses, I think I can avoid getting rid of that. I think it's really the problem of I'm making all these extra regions with whatever rule it was that was doing that. This one. This rule just seems so bad. Because it's not created with any specific purpose. It's just like, yeah, you can write down some true things. I feel like I should just want to write down true things, though. The problem is it gets difficult to debug. Anyway, I was looking at the 4 and the 3 minus, right? And the issue is that they're... hang on, no. The 3 minus and the 4 plus in the same place. Right. If I have like X or fewer here, what do I want X to be? I think X can be like 1, right? Or 0, rather? No, 1? Because if there's space for at most X out here, and we have only one space where you can cram the rest, then like you just have to mark that one, right? But what if X were like, if this were 2, and this were 3 and this were 4, we would still have to mark a 1 plus in here, right? So I think, I don't know, we might need another variable to do this properly. So let's have X be 3. I don't really care how big that all is. But I can say, I think... no matter what size this region is, it needs at least 1 mine? Or does it need exactly 1 mine? No, at least 1. Solved that. That's nice. Just a dangling 2 or fewer? Well, it's starting to feel like it would be nice to get rid of these. So if I just said, well, hang on. Wait, where did this come from again? I just looked, but I didn't understand. I can just edit this to not produce those, I guess. Or I could just trash them. Sure, why not? If you have a region of size X, just X, please. No, just X. And you're being told that there are at most X plus 1 things in it, then just forget that rule. It's stupid. Great. And I think we had a version like that for 2 as well somewhere that we didn't write recently. Who made you? This thing, of course. Wow, where were the 1 pluses? Huh. Okay, good work, I guess. So I think I get a better +2 out of a 2+ out of this, right? Yeah, this is just the puzzle, the X thing I wrote last time, but with a 2 out here instead of a 1, I think. If I look at my rules, sorted by ID. Here. I said if an X or fewer collides with an X plus 1 or more, there's at least 1 mine outside. Now we're seeing, oh, there's an X or more. Well, I'm supposed to look at one of these minuses, I think. I got lost already. I wanted this 3 and this 4, right? So this 3 or fewer colliding with this 4 or more, right? And it's the same thing, except instead of 1+, I'm writing... Well, no. I guess I'm saying I care about how much space is out here? This 3 or fewer, and this 4 or more are what I want to make a rule based on. But what is it? Also, why am I looking back here again? I thought I was doing these puzzles. So if there's only room for 2 outside... Don't I, like, need more variables or something? When do I get one? It's gonna be a while. Oh, I got this. Filter. What is... Hello? The button doesn't do anything. So I can say only show me rules that involve these 3 squares. Okay, that may help. Interesting. Won't be very useful here because all the rules I want to look at in the visible layer. Well, I don't know. I don't need to look at this one, I think. It's kind of the same. Either of these 3s with this 4 would be fine. But let's just go hit clear on some of the others. I somehow don't think the filter is going to be that helpful, though. Because the problem is that a single tile has many rules in it, and I can't read them. But I guess, like, they might come from someplace I don't care about, right? On this one, for example, I could say, actually, I only care about rules that involve this. And now it's much simpler. I don't think that this is the filter I want right now. But, like, maybe I could cope with stuff like this using filters. It's hard to imagine, though. I saw a 10. I'm kind of surprised. I guess maybe one of our X or fewer or X or more rules handled it? That's nice. Or maybe it was handled by the game when it turned out there were, you know, all the spaces next to it were either known or unknown. Or like 7 of them were known to be non-mines, and so the other 10 had to be mines. I don't know how many. But imagine it had 17 neighbors. I don't know how many it had. If you could rule 10 of them to be, if you could rule 7 of them to be non-mines, the other 10 would have to be mines, for example. It sure does grind to a halt when you're just like spewing regions everywhere. And some of them we just solve like a dream, while others we take a big poo on. Like, okay, this is the last one we didn't solve. Like, who made all this shit? No, turn off the filter, please. I want to know, like, where did this 1 or more come from, for example? I mean, that makes sense. This 3 or more in an 11. That's a huge 3 or more. Look at all the spaces that covers. Who made you? I mean, that makes sense, right? It's the only really crazy rule I feel like I have is the one that makes 2 or more sometimes. But not that one. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing obviously stupid I'm doing here that I can easily find. I'm sure there are some stupid things. It's obvious something has gone wrong. But it might just be making all the deductions it can based on, like, yeah, I've got a lot of ways to make deductions. There's 1 or 2 things you could figure out easily, or that you could figure out without needing to spew a bunch of regions everywhere, and we didn't figure them out, so it did a bunch of work deducing what it could. I need more efficient rules. But like, a lot of these we just breeze through. And then we have a heartache. When we just show up with hundreds of hidden rules. Which each, I imagine, spawn more kinds of hidden rules based on their interactions with the others. So it's... Is it quadratic or worse than that? Like, I kind of want to take one of these ones that we spew a bunch of regions on and then fail, and look at it before all the crazy regions we added are there, and see what step we were missing. Is there some way to hide all of the stuff I inferred? There's so much here. We're not really playing the game right now, are we? Tell you what, I'll just let this run on a few more regions, and I'll get back to you, or a few more level types. I'll get back to you when it's all done. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.